Today at Commander Replay, we check out this Erebos Bleak deck and surprise our opponents with Minion of Leshrac. Can Minion of Leshrac destroy everything in its path and lead us to victory? Find out next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. And be sure to use the TCG affiliate player link as it helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Erebos Bleak-Hearted today. And if I accidentally call it Erebos Black-Hearted, well, it's because it feels like it should be Erebos Black-Hearted. Anyway, let's take a look at this opening hand. We've got a Deserted Temple, we've got a Swamp, we've got an Expedition map. So probably Expedition map for Urborg first, unless we find something cool. Expedition map makes it keepable, I think. Let's keep... Ooh, we got two Boros decks in the game. We'll talk about those in just a moment. So we are playing Erebos Bleak-Hearted from Theros Beyond Death. It is a legendary god. It's 4 mana for a 5/6 indestructible, is not a creature if your devotion to black is less than 5. Whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. And you may pay 1 and a black, sacrifice another creature. Target creature gets -2/-1 until end of turn. So, very aristocratsy looking style commander, or possibly a card that just goes in the 99 of another aristocrat's deck, is what I'm really seeing here. So, that's what I did. I built a really on-meta Erebos deck. And my goal with this was to build a pretty low curve mono black deck, which is not usually a thing that I do. Being that mono black has like the most mana doublers by a very large number, I usually build a deck that's just full of high drops, full of bombs, just like, all right, keep dropping 7 drops until something happens, is my usual game plan with mono black. So I'm really trying to force it into like a very low curve, aristocratsy style deck. We'll see how it goes. I did build myself in just a little bit of spice into the deck. You'll see this 1000-year elixir. We'll talk about what that's for a little bit later. We're going to need to resolve a tutor to make it work, but I'm hoping it happens. Anyway, that brings it to our turn 1. We draw into a Toxic Deluge, play the Swamp, play the Expedition map, and we'll pass like that. So Fish Said Fish, piloting the Archangel Avacyn deck, gets themselves off to a very good turn 1 with the Mana Crypt into a Marble Diamond. That's a whole lot of mana. They're going to be on, what, 5 mana on turn 2? They could get their commander if they want, if they have a second white source. Seems pretty good. Archangel Avacyn is an interesting commander, and I've heard a lot of people tell me it's good. I haven't played tons and tons of it. I've dabbled a little bit. People tell me that the backside, when you flip into it, doing 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent is a pretty big deal, and I can definitely believe that. I have used Archangel Avacyn in my Angel deck, and the give your stuff indestructible is also pretty cool. The fact that it's Flash, Flying, Vigilance is a lot of nice abilities. And you can just suit it up and put swords on it. That's a thing that I've definitely seen in the past. Some other people do. But again, it's not a commander that I run into a lot. So I don't know exactly all the best stuff to do with the deck and all the best things, you know, all the little things you got to watch out for with an Avacyn deck. But it is a cool commander, one that I would like to visit a little bit more in the future. Who knows when that'll happen? I have so many Boros projects going on right now that it just seems like it might be a little while before that happens. There's a Weathered Wayfarer for Fish. Yeah, make sure you keep hitting those lands. Notable in that it finds any land. Pretty cool. I use it in some of my decks. I don't use it in all of them. I use it in the Gerard deck most notably. Oh no! Leonin Arbiter! Can't tutor unless a player pays 2. Oh, that's going to make our Expedition map terrible. Remind me when it comes to our turn not to crack that. Also, that might mess up our lands. Eeh. There's a Mind Stone for the Xantcha. Now we're in Pray We Catch a Land Off the Top mode. There's a Manifold Key for the Brion Stoutarm, yeah. Untaps opponent's Mind Stone. Allows them to F8. Now opponent has to retap their Mind Stone so that they can F8. Got him. There's a Swamp off the top, that's good news. Okay, we definitely do not want to crack the Expedition map. So I think that means we're on the Bitter Blossom right here. Mana Crypt flip for the Archangel Avacyn. Looks like they lost the last one. And they lose this one as well, down to 34. It's a sizable amount of damage. Especially there's a Xantcha at the table, and Xantcha makes you lose life really quickly. The other thing that opponent pointed out, we do have Zachary Ryan piloting the Xantcha deck today, and they mentioned that both Brion Stoutarm and Erebos allow us to sacrifice a creature, which means that giving us Xantcha would be not good for them at all. So Fish is going to be the only one probably getting the Xantcha this game, and that's good for us, right? I always feel like I'm the one that gets Xantcha. People just always give it to me, and then everyone pays a bunch of mana into it, and then I'm at like 10 life on like turn 5, and I'm like, what just happened? Xantcha's a pretty funny card. Here comes Xantcha. Gives it to Fish like we just talked about. Our final opponent, by the way, is Chaotic75 piloting Brion Stoutarm. We'll see what he's got going for us today. Oh, I know what he's doing. He was talking about Infect in chat today. Oh, I'm on to him. I see you. I see you. Chaotic's going to activate the Xantcha, draw himself a card, and make Fish lose some life. Brings it back to our turn, Bitter Blossom. Yeah, I think there's going to be some Infect in that Brion Stoutarm deck. So I believe Brion Stoutarm deals the damage. So the equipment, what's the name of it? Grafted Exoskeleton is probably where he's going to be to make any of that work. So we do get a token at the beginning of our upkeep off of the Bitter Blossom, lose a life in the process. Play the Deserted Temple. We're on 3 mana right now. We've got Mana Vault. Mana Vault could put us up to 5. Part of me wants to get the original Erebos first. A little bit easier to draw with the original Erebos. Could just go 1,000-Year Elixir. We should probably get the Mana Vault, right? Could just draw with Xantcha. Seems maybe less good than everything else. Actually, so if we play the new Erebos, maybe we just draw with Xantcha. Yeah, let's try it. Well, now, if we play the new Erebos, we only have to pay life to draw, and like that means that if an opponent attacked us, we just block with the fairy. More likely means that they'll probably attack somewhere else. Let's get the new Erebos. That's what this deck is here to do, right? As much as I do really want the old Erebos in this moment. That way, if a board wipe or whatever happens, I mean, we could just Toxic Deluge next turn, I suppose, also. And that would get us a little bit of card draw as well. Something to think about there. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, and we'll pass with the land open. Avacyn at the end step. That's pretty serious. Yeah. And that way, yeah, if Avacyn flips over and if fairy tokens start dying, then we get to draw cards easily, so yeah. I'd always given a lot of thought to like an Avacyn go-wide deck because the fact that you have access to Indestructible in your command zone seems like a really big deal. Now, there are plenty of things that get around it. Toxic Deluge, a lot of the black removal. Blue removal, Mass Bounce doesn't help you as much on that front, but something that's always been on my mind, and I'm sure like many go-wide decks, it's probably good until someone plays a board wipe, and then when they do, you're just really, really hurting. But something I've thought about for a while. Opponent cracks a Fabled Passage. I hope they remembered to pay. They've got a tap mana crypt, so it looks like they did get themselves a land. That's a Palace Jailer. Oh, that means that only our Fairy Rogue is in play. Yep, opponent's going to exile the Fairy Rogue. All right, yep. Let's see where they want to park the damage. Opponent becomes the Monarch. I would love to become the Monarch. Opponent spreads the damage around. We're going to be on the hook for 4 off the Avacyn. So we go down to 35. Opponent's at 34 and 34. And they get to draw at the end step. Yep. They really have to kill the token right there. Was that entirely necessary? I just wanted to draw a card. Try to hit my next land. Ugh. Here comes a Felwar Stone for the Xantcha opponent. And there's a Blasphemous Act. All right, all this stuff going down. That is good news. Means we don't have to Toxic Deluge. We can leave that for a little while into the game. Opponent's going to get one less activation with Xantcha before the board wipe, sure. Bunch of Avacyn triggers go off. We can now safely crack our Expedition map, so we'll probably look to do that. Here's a Thrilling Encore. That's not really the card I wanted to see. Crack the Expedition map. Are we on Coffers or are we on Urborg? Coffers isn't making any mana yet. That puts us on Urborg. Or are we on Ancient Tomb? Let's just go for Urborg. Play Urborg. Anything to do with 2? We could shoot a creature. Maybe we'll do that. Trying to get that card draw. Staying on top of our lands, though, that's the most important thing. Mana Crypt flip on the Archangel Avacyn opponent. Yeah, it's turn 5. They're at 27. They win the flip, so they stay at 27. But yeah, turn 5, they're at 27. That's a pretty good amount of life loss. And, you know, it's a combination of the Xantcha and the Mana Crypt. Xantcha makes you lose life quickly. So does Mana Crypt. Probably one of the best damage dealers in the format. That's an Aurelia, the War Leader. See who's getting attacked. Ooh, and a Damping Sphere. Fish bring in the stacks. Damping Sphere makes Cabal Coffers useless. I'm pretty sure I forgot to pack Artifact Removal in this deck. That is a thing that I definitely forgot to do. It's going to be up to the other 2 players. Aurelia into Xantcha. Aurelia trigger. And second one into Chaotix. And opponent maintains the Monarch trigger. Draws another card. Opponent commenting on the fact that Archangel Avacyn wears heels in the photo. And if that's supposed to make her look taller. I have no idea. Thran Dynamo for the Xantcha. Yep. It's good at making mana. Opponent used their red mana already. Not sure if that was intentional. Ooh, opponent's going to Animate Dead on the Palace Jailer. Assume they put this on Aurelia. So opponent's going to become the Monarch, and yep, they're going to target the Aurelia with it. Yeah, it's fair play. Draw a card, slow down the Avacyn, give them a reason to have to take the Monarch back is what they need to do. It's kind of a pain. Theoretically, we could take the Monarch if we don't shoot anything. Yeah, that seems fair. So if I was thinking about just using the Fairy into the Erebos at the end step, that would cost us 2 life to draw a card, which is fine. But if we wait until our next turn to do that, we can just attack and get the Monarch now. That might get weird with land drops and stuff. Could see it being an issue. Hopefully, if we catch a land off the top, then we'll be golden. But, oh, here comes the Hedge Mage. I'm guessing Damping Sphere and Bitter Blossom. They have 2 planes? I don't know if they have 2 planes. Going for the Damping Sphere, that helps us so incredibly much. Damping Sphere makes it really hard to play unfair Magic. Alright, so if we catch a land off the top, this play with the Monarch will look smart. If we don't catch a land off the top, then this play will look not as great. I'm prepared to go a little bit risky right here. Why burn the life if we don't have to? From the sacrificing, it's a Beseech the Queen. Awkward. Could get Cabal Coffers with it. It's usually what I do. Lose a life to the Mana Vault. Swing into Xantcha. Take the Monarch token. Opponent gets dinged for 1. Do a little check for any Strip Mines in play. I'm not seeing any at this moment, so I think it's going to be... Ooh, do we have enough? Yeah, we do have enough. Okay. Beseech the Queen for Cabal Coffers. Play the Cabal Coffers. There's our land per turn. Still got 2 black mana. Can sacrifice something if we need to. And yeah, it sounds good to me. Can block with 1. And we draw a land off the top. Excellent. So we're in line to make our next land drop. Assuming no wheels, which are very possible. Given 2 Boros opponents and a Rakdos opponent, that's like probably the most likely situation for wheels. Other than like Niv Mizzet and Nekusar. Aurelia's back in play, by the way. I forgot we took the Monarch token. And Fish gets the Aurelia back. So we'll block with the Fairy. And since we're being attacked, I'm going to use the Erebos ability on the Aurelia. Won't kill it, but it'll make it smaller. And we'll get to lose 2 life and draw a card. Aurelia will get -2, -1 until end of turn. So we're going to pay the 2 life into the Erebos. Yep, oop, that's a Soul Ring. Very nice, very nice. All we got to do is dodge the wheels. Dodge the artifact and enchantment removal. And Aurelia going to come back into us for 1. Hurts a lot less when it's only 1. Oh, yep, I forgot we have the Monarch token. So that is the thing that just happened. Alright, they'll get the Monarch back. We've now drawn enough cards where I feel pretty comfortable with a lot of things. So I may not go crazy trying to get the Monarch token back. You know, if the opportunity's there, obviously. But if we have to like really kind of stretch for it, might be able to wait. Here comes a Sidisi for opponent. Yep. Tutors make me nervous. Opponent sacrifices the Palace Jailer. Palace Jailer dies. And the Animate deck goes back to their graveyard. Sidisi will get to tutor. Ooh, opponent gets themselves a Reaper from the Abyss. Opponent's end step. They use the Reaper of the Abyss trigger to try to shoot Aurelia, but opponent flashed in the Archangel Avacyn to make it indestructible to prevent it from dying. That's a Glory of Warfare coming in for the Brion Stoutarm, sure. Chaotix untapped our Mana Vault with the Manifold Key. Maybe hoping that we'll do something about all the stuff that just happened on board. Seems pretty good. Reaper from the Abyss seems really good in our deck. That's probably a card I should add, since we're all about sacrifice and stuff. That is repeatable removal. The Hedge Mage is a 4/2. That's going to bring it back to our turn. We got a Mana Vault trigger and a Bitter Blossom trigger. Uh-oh, that's a Demonic Tutor. I think we might see the Spice in a second. Play the Swamp. Oh, yeah, we have the Deserted Temple also. This all seems very good. Play the Soul Ring. Use the Cabal Coffers. Get 6 mana. Untap the Cabal Coffers. Pay 1. Do it again. That's 9 mana. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we can make a bunch more? Sweet. So I guess artifact and enchantment removal is going to be a real problem, but play the Cage Sun. On black. Got 3 black mana floating. Could have a bunch more. I mean, do we go for the thing? I think we go for the thing. No, the Reaper from the Abyss is still in play, so we'll have to shoot the Reaper. So that being the case, let's get this Erebos into play. We're on a weird mana count right now. That being the case, get the 1,000-year elixir into play. We'll swing a fairy into the Xantcha opponent. They'll be able to blow up some of the other stuff with the Reaper trigger. So our creature dies. We'll pay the 2 life once again. That's a Yahenni. That's actually one that I want in play. Cast Yahenni. Cast the other Erebos. Or do we wait? They might get wheeled. Nervous about the wheel. So cast the other Erebos, and then we'll leave up 2 black mana. Next turn, I'm going to think about our little spiciness right here. Although we'll probably have to wipe the board first. Reaper from the Abyss is going to target Aurelia. Aurelia will go down. Problem is, next turn when, Avacyn's going to flip over. Do a bunch of damage to everything. It's pretty relevant. Yahenni will get a counter on it from a creature dying. That's cool. So now we're out of Avacyn range. Opponent wins a mana crypt flip. Why didn't Avacyn flip over? Huh. Whenever, non-angel. That's why. Non-angel dies. Roger that. Faithless Looting for opponent. Sure. Discards 2 lands. Seems good. Sacred Foundry in tapped. Cracks a Myriad Landscape. Getting all the ramp going this turn. Ooh. That's a Dockside Extortionist for opponent. That's so much mana. 12 treasure tokens. That might be one of the highest I've ever seen, actually. For a single trigger, that is a lot of treasure tokens. Path to Exile on the Reaper from the Abyss. Sounds good to me. That did need to die. All about that. Opponent will get themselves a land. It was actually going to become a problem for us. Again, as long as no wheel happens, I think we're set up to do the thing. We need one other card to make it really awesome, but in the meantime, we can get like part of our combo going. And it's not one of those things that'll like directly win us the game, but it'll help, but it doesn't just end the game. Archangel Avacyn going to swing into the Xantcha, sure. They take a hit, go down to 26. Opponent has a Cabal Coffers in play now. It's a little bit of a problem. They're making lots of extra mana also. And then they just played a Vesuva to make a second Cabal Coffers. That's actually a pretty big issue. That means they just cast Xantcha, and it's a really big problem. Oh, you want to know what solves that problem? All right, I'll tell you guys. I don't think a wheel's going to happen right here. Got a good feeling about this. Anyway, the spiciness in our deck is Minion of Leshrac, and that's what we're going to be going to get with this Demonic Tutor. The Xantcha into play, yep. And Minion of Leshrac does blow up lands. Who's getting the Xantcha? Fish gets the Xantcha once again. Everflowing Chalice kicked 3 times. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's going to make some mana. Draws a card with Xantcha. As someone who plays a lot of Aurelia, it is funny when someone gives you the Xantcha because you can kill the rest of the table really quickly. Not the final opponent. The final opponent, by that point, they try to combo you out or something like that is usually what happens, but the other 2 opponents die very fast. Here comes Brion Stoutarm. Yep. Oh, Stoutarm can't hit creatures. That's good news. Did not realize that. Opponent's going to untap an artifact. Can untap opponent's Thran Dynamo, sure. Yeah, going to get all that life loss going on Fish. We'll go to the end step here. We'll draw with the original Erebos. At some point, we're going to want to find some life gain. I'd like to find a Zulaport Cutthroat. Something like that. It's a swamp. So it brings it back to our turn. Mana Vault, Bitter Blossom trigger. We probably could pay for the Mana Vault. Maybe we'll start doing that next turn. We have some big mana plays to make this turn. Next turn, if everything holds up. There's a Phyrexian Arena. That's a good one. Lose another life to the Mana Vault. Yep. Play a swamp. Activate the coffers. Use the Deserted Temple. Untap the coffers. Do it again. Brings us up to 13 black mana. Play the Demonic Tutor. Get Minion of Leshrac. It was one of my favorite cards when I was a kid. I definitely had a mono black deck built around that and Lord of the Pit. You use Breeding Pit to keep yourself alive, which I actually don't think is on Magic Online, or if it is, I mean, it's still very slow. Bitter Blossom, a way better Breeding Pit. Play the Minion of Leshrac. There's also a Thornbite Staff in the deck, so if we can find that, that's the final piece. We can shoot everything down. Play the Phyrexian Arena. Ooh, that does animate our Ereboses, by the way. Well, might as well start shooting stuff. Blow up these Cabal Coffers. Untap the Minion of Leshrac. I think it's time to do some attacking. We'll send in... I'm getting a little bit nervous about the Xantcha player. So I'm going to go that direction. Do we attack with Yahenni? Yahenni's such a good blocker. I'm going to leave Yahenni back. Yahenni's a very good blocker. The fact that it become indestructible. Definitely like that. Uh-oh. What's opponent got? Oh, they're just drawing with Xantcha. That's fine. Bleed Fish's life total. If Fish loses the flip, we're getting to a place where we can talk about doing like loads of damage via the Xantcha. Opponent's going to block with the Sidisi. That'll trigger Yahenni. Puts a counter on it. Opponent goes down to 18. They're pretty... Oh, no. Xantcha can't hit them on the ground. Right, I forgot about that. But Avacyn can still ding them for 4. It's relevant. Maybe we activate the Xantcha if we do it 2 times. That should leave us enough mana to do stuff. So activate Xantcha. It's a mana crypt. Play... You know, at this point, I'm going to hold the mana crypt back just in case the artifacts get blown up. We have so much mana production that, like, you know, just a lot of risk to lay that down there. Also, our life total starting to bleed a bit. Activate the Xantcha again. Zulaport Cutthroat's really what I'm looking for. Pitiless Plunderer. Whenever another creature you control dies, make a treasure token. Same thing, more mana production. Just going to hang on to that in case stuff gets blown up. Maybe that one's less risky, because chances are if the artifacts get blown up, chances are the creatures are getting blown up too. Yeah, we'll just hang on to that. Ooh, actually, you know what? The Thrilling Encore. Well, it's too late now. I already passed. Yep, crap. Thrilling Encore could really protect a lot of stuff in the event of a catastrophe. Crap, yeah, I wish I did get the mana crypt down. Oops. So I told opponents before I cast the Minion of Fleshrack, hey, you guys want to see something funny? And Chaotic says, is it guy gets hit in the nuts funny or lame dad joke funny? Looks like kicked in the nuts funny. Yeah, but we do need to find one of our life gain cards soon. By the way, I should probably read this card for those that aren't familiar with it, by the way, because it's an old card out of Ice Age. It's 7 mana for a 5/5. We're getting +1/+1 right now. It's got protection from black, and that's solely there so that it can't target itself. It says, at the beginning of your upkeep, it deals 5 damage to you unless you sacrifice a creature other than Minion of Fleshrack. If it deals damage to you this way, tap it. Tap it to destroy target creature or land. It was definitely the big bomb for Mono Black out of Ice Age. And sort of like the Lord of the Pit of that set. Or Lord of the Pit, another card that I also love. And, you know. By today's standards, a 7/7 trample's like actually still decent. The downside on it's terrible. But if you can pay the downside on Lord of the Pit still has a very reasonable attacking body on it. Not many old creatures really hold up that well by today's standards, so... Again, it's not great by any means, but you can make it work if you really want to. Oh no, Fish got disconnected. Fish goes down, and opponents thinking that I might run away with this one if Fish isn't here, because Fish had the mana to be able to deal with what we're doing. Anyway, I'm going to shoot opponents' Cabal Coffers before they untap, because if we lose to anything, it's probably going to be the Coffers. So, both Cabal Coffers down, Minion of Fleshrack doing its job, shooting the lands. Crypt Gas coming into play for opponent. Yep. We could theoretically shoot 2 things to get rid of the Crypt Gas, but we'll just let that stick for now. Probably work on it next turn. Arcana Revenant. Well, that's a big target. That's still a pretty good turn from opponent. We're going to do our best to try and dismantle it. I'm still pretty nervous about an Austere Command. Austere Command would set us back to the Stone Age. Well, we still have the Cabal Coffers in the lands, but it would definitely hurt a lot. Chaotix is actually hosed on white mana, I just noticed. He's got a single white source right there. Ouch. He's also missed 3 or 4 land drops. Not ideal. Not ideal. Oh man, things are going so well in this game. I wish I'd put Helldozer in this deck. This would be such a good game for Helldozer. You need a game where people aren't firing removal all day long, because once that happens, then Helldozer is not great. It's not great. Here comes an Open the Armory for Chaotix. Get the Grafted Exoskeleton. Oh! Opponent's gonna Comet Storm for X16. This is all a big problem. And they're gonna shoot our minion and us in the face. Ooh. Okay. Opponents have lethal on us. It's not good. It's not good. Alright. Where's our Erebos at? Not that one, the other Erebos. The real Erebos, please step forward. Let's shoot this Brion Stoutarm. Gonna sacrifice the minion. Well, we got 2 big hits with it. We cannot pay the life right here. I would love to draw a card, but that's not happening. Nope. Oh, right, it doesn't... Oh, opponent's gonna get us for 4. So that's 16 plus 4. I think we're at 1. Oh my god, and there's an Extort trigger on the stack. Wait, opponent spent all their mana? I think we're alive. Wait, is this the... Did they pay the life? Whenever you cast a spell, I don't know if they paid the 1 yet. Oh, crap, really? This is how it's going to be? I needed to shoot the other one, so it's going to be the other creature's power. I forget when you pay for Extort when it resolves, right? Oh no, we have a Bitter Blossom! Ooh, we need to get rid of Bitter Blossom. We're at 1. Oh god. Oh no. We need life gain. We never got life gain. Oh, I should have got life gain instead of the minion. Oh, we also have a Phyrexian Arena. Also a problem. Yeah, I thought Xantcha might do something like that. Got 2 mana doublers right there. That's pretty unlucky for us. Maybe we could have shot the Crypt Gas at some point, I guess. Would have slowed that down. Well, that's frustrating.
Ugh, Comet Storm. Bunch of triggers on the stack. That one on the bottom. Yep. Can we do anything? Yeah, we can make everyone else's life miserable, right? Shoot this Cryptghast. Make a bunch of mana. Sacrifice this fairy. Do this again. Sacrifice the other fairy. So that'll take down the Cryptghast. Let's get to work on the Nirkana Revenant. Untap Cabal Coffers. I guess this is why you run Imp's Mischief. Probably need to start running that thing. Oh my. Erebos on the Nirkana. Pay 1. Sacrifice this Erebos. Target it again. Sacrifice the Yahenni. Play Thrilling Encore. Get all these things back. Do it again. Sacrifice Yahenni. And shoot the Revenant one more time. Sacrifice this Erebos. I think that's all we can do. Can't believe opponents had just enough between the two of them. If I recognized that I needed to shoot the other creature instead of Brion Stoutarm, then... Yep, down we go to 0. So opponent recasts Xantcha. Starts getting down to the card draw. Can this attack its controller now? Can it never attack its controller? Attacks each combat if able and can't attack its owner or a planeswalker it controls. Okay, so it can never attack its owner or a planeswalker it controls. There's a demonic tutor. Although the Stoutarm can just fling it back at them. That's pretty reasonable, right? Man, I can't believe he generated enough mana even after we shot both coffers. That's so incredibly frustrating. And the fact that, like, they had nothing when they started their turn. They went Nirkana Revenant into Cryptghast. That's... I don't know. It's pretty lucky. It's pretty lucky. A little bit of skill in there, too, but, oh, man. Like, how do you plan for that? And largely, you don't. Transmogrification Wand. Yep. Shoots the commander. Commander turns into an Ox. That's bad for our Chaotix. That's repeatable removal on the commander. I don't know why this has been showing up a lot lately, and it's been doing work. Maybe it's Zach that just plays it in every deck that he has, but... There's Boots. Boots are helpful. I don't know why, whenever I play black decks, like, I think I played pretty good black decks. I just get focused so hard by my Patreons. And I get it. It's probably because, like, mono black is very strong, especially when you bring a good one, and... You know, I built this deck to be pretty on meta. A lot of very standard choices. The only thing I really experimented with was the Minion of Leshrac thing right there, and it was decent. With all the tokens and aristocrats sort of stuff going on in this deck, definitely very reasonable. But yeah, I would say this is a pretty on-meta mono black deck. It's going to do some stuff. Doesn't have, like, the combo finish per se. That's the one thing that is kind of missing. But, other than that, having Sir Conrad on the battlefield makes people die really, really quickly. So yeah, I don't know. Whenever I play a mono black deck, I just get focused super hard. Like we saw right there. Just everything going well, and we get blasted in the face for 16 off of a Comet Storm, and then hit with a Brion Stoutarm. Opponent just keeps activating the Xantcha. Yep, drawing lots of cards. Here comes a Rakdos Signet. Activates the Xantcha again. Chaotix down to 17. He's going to need to find some magic. If opponent untaps next turn, they can pump a ton of mana into Xantcha. I mean, if they can basically, like, sacrifice it, just get rid of it somehow. That's an Urabrask. That's not where you want to be. Opponent's coming in for 10 right here, but I don't know if Chaotix gets another untap. Opponent goes down to 4. Yep, everything into Xantcha. How much life is it? It's 2 life per time. And they're just going to pump it all into Xantcha. Here we go. Opponent's got 12 mana. Oh, that's a Mana Vault. That's a Mana Vault. That might do it. That's an extra activation. Chaotix down to 11. Down to 9. 8 mana left. I think he survives at 1. If opponent needs more mana rocks, I think. No, so it's, what, 3 to activate? 3 to activate. Yeah, Chaotix is going to survive. He's looking good. Okay, last one standing. Oh, that changes the equation. So Urabrask and the Ox go down. Awaken the Erstwhile. Each player discards all the cards in their hand, then creates that many 2/2 black zombies. Yeah, I don't know if that's the one I would have went with. Although, 9 zombies versus 7 zombies. Interesting. If Chaotix, all he needs to do, if he has mana for, what do they have in hand? 2 arms, untap all creatures you control, draw a card. Marshal's Anthem, Pariah. Yeah, Pariah doesn't help right here. Heartless doesn't help. Aura of Silence. Aura of Silence blows up key things. Sun Titan. Wow, has he really not had a 6th mana all game? That's a Chandra's Ignition on the Xantcha. I think this is going to do it. Got there. Nice. Chaotix wins the match. Chandra's Ignition on the Xantcha for lethal. So yeah, our deck did exactly what I thought it would do. We had a bunch of stuff in play to sacrifice. We had both Erebos Eye. We got the Minion of Leshrac in, which was super sweet. Got to blow up 2 coffers with it. Wish it stuck around just a little bit longer. Would probably add the Reaper from the Abyss to the deck. But again, I was trying to keep the mana curve nice and low. Oh, I forgot that other 6-drop too. I forgot the... It's the one that makes zombies every time someone casts a spell. I can't think of the name of that thing. Newscraft Mob, that's the one. So I'd probably add in a Newscraft Mob, especially if you don't want to do the Minion of Leshrac thing. Newscraft Mob and Reaper from the Abyss definitely going to look great. But I wanted to have just a little bit of fun with it. We've also got Thornbite Staff in there, so we can just machine gun down the table with the Minion of Leshrac. And there's like no other synergy in the deck. The only reason I have this is because I know that we're going to have things to sacrifice. So just wanted something in the deck to make it look just a little bit different than like every other mono black deck ever. So that's what I was going for. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.